Hey, and welcome to day 2 of our Motion Designer Client Challenge. So, today we are talking about top tips for finding new clients, even if you're just starting out. So, if you're watching the replay of this, thank you so much for watching the replay, and do let us know if you have any questions. If you aren't on Facebook, the best place to do that is at hello@motionhatch.com, and we can answer any questions for you there. So I can see that some live people are popping in now. So if you can see me and hear me okay, say hey, like and comment on this post so that other people can also easily find it. So hey, Bogan, how are you doing today? Who else have we got in here? Say hello so I can see you all. Daniel, hey Marek, hey Raphael, hi Reich, hi David. I hope I'm not butchering your names too much. So, thank you so much for being here. Hi, Trevor. How are you? Hi, Sarah. Thank you. So, yes, please do keep saying hey, and please do like this post, and then Facebook can more easily show it to all the other participants of this challenge. So thank you so much for tuning in for day 2. Let me know in the comments, how did you get on with day 1's challenge? So remember, day 1 was to email 3 to 5 clients for referrals. So I'd love to see in the comments how successful you were with that. So just while we wait a few minutes to make sure that everybody is here. Hi, Dari. Hi, Barto. How are you? Hi, Janet. Wow, there's so many people here. It'd be great to see where you're all from as well. So if you post where you're coming from, that'd be really cool to see where you all are in the world, because I think this is a pretty worldwide audience right now, which is really exciting. Okay, so I am going to jump in, I think, in just a second. So Scott says, I've contacted about 4 people. One person got back to me and said that she would pass my information on. That's very good. Well done, Scott. So let me know if you're just tuning in. Say hey in the comments. Let me know where you're coming from. John says hello from Brooklyn. Larissa says hi from Germany. And please do let me know how you got on with yesterday's challenge as well. It'd be great to see in the comments what kind of results you've got. Did any of you get replies from your clients? You know, sometimes it's going to take a couple of days, so don't worry. And remember, the power is in the follow-up as well. So awesome. Well, let's jump into this, but I'd love to keep hearing about your results. So please do let us know. So I am going to share my screen and we're going to play this presentation. So, top tips for finding new clients, even if you're just starting out. This is what we're covering today, everybody. So I'm just configuring my screen so I can see all your comments and what's going on as well. So just a bit of housekeeping, same as yesterday. Please do interact with me and each other in the comments. We really want this to, you know, feel like a community and for you all to get the support that you need. The moderators will be picking up your questions and fielding them to me at the end in the Q&A section again. So please do remember to ask questions that are relevant to today's chat. On Friday, we will be doing an extra Q&A, so I encourage you to ask any extra questions you have then around freelancing and things in general. That would be great. And as always, I will try and answer as many questions as I can live, but we will be posting regular Q&A posts in this group. So if you don't get your question answered, please do post it in there. Okay, so are you ready? Give me a yes in the comments if you're ready to learn about my top tips for finding new clients, even if you're just starting out today. Just a little recap from day 1. So what did we learn yesterday? Well, we learned that most motion designers are only sending cold emails, and there are actually many ways that you can market yourself. So we learned about inbound marketing and outbound marketing, and your daily challenge, which was to send 3 to 5 referral emails to your clients. Awesome. Thanks so much for posting that you're already in the chat as well. I really appreciate that. So do any of these sound like you? Please do let me know. I want to hear from you so I know that we're all starting on the same page. So maybe you feel like you mainly use cold emails to contact new clients. You don't feel confident about reaching out to new clients. I've heard this a lot from people in this challenge, so I think that one's definitely true. You don't know where to start when looking for new clients. I think we almost started this conversation yesterday, so this lesson seems like it's perfect for today, because I feel like some of the questions that you were all asking yesterday, we're answering them right here today. So that's awesome. And I don't know who my ideal client is. We definitely had a question about that yesterday. So I'm going to talk about all of this today. So what are we going to cover? Well, like I said, we're going to cover the top tips for finding new clients, even if you're just starting out, you're brand new, you don't have any clients at all. And we're also obviously going to give you a daily challenge. So you have a daily challenge every day for these 3 days. So you've got to take action. That's what's really important. And remember, we're giving away prizes for the people that take the most action. So if you take action and you let us know about it, you could be in to win a prize. So just a reminder, who am I? In case you're brand new here and you didn't watch yesterday's live. Some of you already know I'm Hayley. I run Motion Hatch, and we help motion designers do better business. So that's whether you're starting out in the industry, going freelance, or maybe you're growing your freelance practice, we can help you with that. We offer courses and programs. We also do a bi-weekly podcast all about the business side of motion design. So if you want to find any information about Motion Hatch in general, you can just go to motionhatch.com and you'll find all the links and everything you need there. So let's get into today's topic. So if you're starting out and you want to find more or better clients, I'm going to show you the easiest way to find new clients. I'm such a big fan of this as well. So I hope that you enjoy this one. So, the best place on the internet right now to find new clients is LinkedIn. Now, I know some of you are a bit scared of LinkedIn, but I'm going to show you really easy ways to use it today to find new clients. So LinkedIn is a business to business platform. This is why it makes it perfect to find people who might be hiring motion designers. So many of you might already use LinkedIn to search for potential clients, but the main question that I get is, who do I search for? So this was one question that we had yesterday, so I'm really excited that we are covering this today. So this can be translated into who is my ideal client. This can be quite a deep question actually, and it could take you a little while to figure it out. But as you know, this challenge is very short. It's all about you taking action and getting clients. So I don't want you to get stuck on this question. I want you to move forward. So I'm going to help you with this. So I have a few questions that could steer you in the right direction on who to search for on LinkedIn and who to figure out who your ideal client is. So sometimes you might find your right client by working with them. So it's important to get yourself out there and don't hold yourself back. So the questions are, what kind of clients have you enjoyed working with in the past? What kind of problems do you want to solve for your clients? And do you have any unique skills that could help solve your clients' problems? So I'm seeing a lot of love in the chat for LinkedIn right now. So that's awesome. I'm so excited. So, what kind of clients have you worked with in the past? This is a really simple question, but it can help you to identify clients you like working with and, potentially weed out the ones that you don't like working with as well, which is also important. So, for example, you might find that you like working with animation studios more than agencies because you can actually help them take the project from start to finish. And when you're working with an agency, potentially, you're only one piece of the puzzle. So, the next question to ask yourself is, what kind of problems do I want to solve for my clients? So, if you like doing 3D motion design stuff for agencies where you're part of a bigger team working towards the same goal, or maybe you feel like you want to work in the charity sector to get them more visibility for their causes, or potentially you like working with outdoors brands to get more sales for their website. So if you want to think about what kind of problems you solve for your clients, this can give you a clear vision on what type of clients you should go after. So it's kind of about, what you enjoy and who you like working with. And the last question is, do you have any unique skills that you could use to solve your client's problems? So what do we mean by unique skills? Well, it could be that you're really into snowboarding and maybe you live somewhere that have a lot of snowboarding schools. And maybe those schools could use motion design to advertise their lessons online. I mean, I don't know, that's pretty niche, but it could be the perfect job for someone and it could be the perfect niche. So a few people in our mastermind program have actually solved niche problems, like Tony and John. So this is Tony Elmore's website from our mastermind. I think he's done a fantastic job. And he's thought exactly about what problems he wants to solve for his clients. And he's using his website to speak directly to his ideal clients. So in this case, it's marketers and brands who maybe don't have any experience using motion design for their businesses. So if you want to check out Tony's full site, you can go to fortatelier.com. So now we are going to move into LinkedIn. So this is going to be a bit of a weird transition because there isn't really a great way to do this live, unfortunately. But hopefully now you should all be able to see my LinkedIn, I believe. Now, so what do we do? Well, we use this very nice search bar up here, which you can see I've already been doing some searches. So it's really easy. So I'm going to go back a bit because I want to take my time with this to make sure that you can all see exactly what I'm doing because this is really important. So LinkedIn homepage, this is where you're going to arrive. Like the easiest thing to do is, you're like, okay, cool. I want to contact some producers. So you can just type in producer, or well, not producers, maybe producer, and then you just press return. It's going to search. My computer's been a little slow because obviously we're streaming live at the same time. So please do be patient, but we will get there. So it's going really slow because we're streaming, but that's fine. So yeah, so you want to go to producer and then you want to click on people. Here we go. And then what I recommend too, you don't have to do this, but you can actually search for your location. So I'm based in Manchester in the UK, so I could go in here and I'm like, cool, Manchester, here we go. So now I'm going to find all the producers who are in Manchester. So how exciting is that? I can easily find so many potential clients, potential leads for my motion design business. And then I can also easily see all the different places that they work at. And I can look further on their websites and into what they do and see if they use animation in what they do. So I think this is amazing too. I mean, there's just so many leads. So you can do that. You could also search for creative director. It's another good one. Or, like post-production producer, art director. So, it gives you suggestions. So you can be like, cool, creative director and people. So then you're going to get loads of creative directors in Manchester area, which is great if you live in Manchester, because, you know, these people will need to work with motion designers. So obviously you have to go a bit deeper than this and you have to do your research. But what I would recommend is finding the people that you want to work with, creating a list. So we actually have a spreadsheet that we're going to add into the Facebook group as well. And obviously if you're watching the replay, it'll be in the email. And you can, you know, make a list of all these people, do some further research. Remember what I said yesterday about, you know, picking less people. So, you know, 10 people is better than 100, and actually diving deeper and personalizing your emails and all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk a little bit more tomorrow about warming your clients up and how you can do this. But basically, as part of the challenge today, what I want you to do is go and find some people and start warming them up. So what you would do after this, you would put these people in your list, and then you would go to their profiles, see if they posted recently on LinkedIn, or maybe the studio has posted on Instagram or something like that. I wouldn't recommend necessarily going to like someone's personal Instagram and then coming in on their posts. It has to kind of be business related, which is why LinkedIn is so powerful. So if you go onto their LinkedIn, you see that they posted recently about some work that they've done, then you can be like, hey, oh, this is a really cool project. And then if you do that over like a number of weeks and then you send them an email, you know, your email is going to be a little bit warmer. It's not going to be as cold. You can also do this with animation studios too. So you can actually search for companies in here as well. So I apologize for the slowness. It's because we're trying to stream live and, you know, use the internet at the same time. So yeah, if we do that, and then if I type in that, it should. So you can find people who work at animation studios, which is really good. You can also change this drop down and go to companies, which is awesome as well. So, you know, you can find loads and loads and loads and loads of potential clients. So it's just a really easy way. So even if you're just brand new to motion design, you know, you can find all of these clients. I just think LinkedIn's a fantastic tool. I've actually been diving deeper into the Sales Navigator, which is a paid part of LinkedIn, but it helps you to more easily track and reach out to leads on LinkedIn and stuff like that. So we're actually going to update our course Client Quest with some more information about the Sales Navigator. So if you do want to join us in that, I'm going to go deeper. But today I just wanted to teach you about the free part of LinkedIn so that you can get the most out of it, even if you don't have access to the Sales Navigator as well. But that is a really powerful tool. So I just wanted to mention it here, because it can be really, really useful. It just depends how you use it. And I would recommend using it in a personal way and warming your clients up more with it, rather than doing a lot of cold outreach, which is what a lot of people and businesses use the Sales Navigator for. So like I said, we're going to dive more deeply into that in our Client Quest course. So I'm going to be updating that very, very soon for our next session, which is really exciting. So if you're interested, please do go and check out the Client Quest course. You can go to motionhatch.com/Client Quest. I think I mentioned it yesterday. We might have broke the page, so I apologize if you went there yesterday and it wasn't working. But it should be all good today. Maybe don't go all at the same time and check it out. So yeah, so just wanted to point the Sales Navigator out to you. One, because you have filters here as well. Just wanted to mention another quick thing where I remember. You have some more filters here, which is really, really helpful. And so these are kind of a little bit of what's in the Sales Navigator, but the Sales Navigator has so many more features to it. So one really powerful feature that I love is that it says in there, you know, filter people by who's posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. So that makes it really easy, because then you can see who has posted in the last 30 days. So you know who's engaged on LinkedIn, which means that you can engage with them more easily and warm them up before you email them. So I think that's really powerful. So My last little LinkedIn tip for you today is also using the search. So you can search for a motion designer in jobs. It'll let me do that, hopefully. So you go motion designer and then you go to jobs. You can also change this by location and stuff as well, as before. So now what we're going to get a list of everybody who's trying to hire for a motion designer right now. And you might be thinking, Hayley, I don't want a full-time job. I want to be a freelancer. That's why I'm in this challenge. But the good trick about this is that you could still get in touch with these people and you could say, hey, I see you're looking for a motion designer. I'm not currently looking for a full-time job, but I'd be happy to help you out in the meantime if you need some freelancers. And do you see how powerful that can be? Because I have a need for motion designers right now. So they might be like, cool, yeah, while we wait, before we get our full-time person, we actually need someone to start on this project. So I think this is a really, really exciting thing because you can see people who need motion designers right now. And obviously, if you're looking for a job as well, I mean, this is just fantastic. So I think we can use it to find freelance work as well. Also, I can see someone talking about remote. You can actually click remote in here as well, so you can find out who is hiring remotely for work too. So that is very exciting. And usually it says who the person is who's hiring, who it's posted by. So you can go to their LinkedIn, you can directly reach out to them too. Obviously, with all of this, you need to do your research. You need to make everything personal. You know, you need to not just spam loads of people. We'll talk a bit more about that tomorrow, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew all about that as well. So I think that's my tips for LinkedIn. So let's go back and we'll go to the daily challenge. So, oh, this is great. I told you this wasn't going to be a smooth transition here. There's no way to get around that, unfortunately. So, what is your daily challenge today? Well, your daily challenge is to search for 3 to 5 people on LinkedIn who could use your motion design services. So it's not hard. It's not a lot of people. And I want you to create a spreadsheet, or you can use our templates that we're going to provide to you, and add their names, the company they work for, etc., etc. You know, look into it more deeply, do your research. And then I want you to go to Instagram or LinkedIn to see if their company has recently posted. I feel like if they've recently posted on LinkedIn about a project or something like that, then obviously that's still acceptable as well, because, you know, that's more of a worky thing. I just wouldn't want you to go onto their personal Instagram and start posting on their posts, because I think that might be a little bit creepy. So don't do that. And then comment on their posts and make sure you're adding value to them. So make sure it's not just like a little emoji or something like that, that you're actually helping these people out and you're actually adding value to them. And you're saying, hey, I love your work, like giving them compliments, stuff like that. That's still adding value. You know, you could point out something, oh, I love how you've used that kind of plugin. So they know that you're an expert too, you know. So what I want you to do then is to continue engaging with their posts this week, and then potentially, you know, next week, something like that, then you can reach out to them on email. Obviously, we'll talk more about warming up clients tomorrow in tomorrow's lesson, but the more you warm up your clients and the longer you take time to, you know, build your relationship with them essentially, then the better results you're going to get. Okay, so just a little reminder about prizes. So we are going to announce the prizes all tomorrow. So do make sure you're here because we've got some fantastic prizes to give away still. So we're going to give 3 prizes away. No, we're going to give 2 prizes away, sorry, to the people that take the most action during this challenge. So make sure you're taking action, make sure you are doing the work and the challenges that give you, and make sure you're letting us know about it too. So you can post on social media and use the hashtag MoGraph Client Challenge, and also tag us. We are at Motion Hatch on most platforms, and then we can see there. We'll also post in this group later with the daily challenge, so you can comment under that post and say, hey, I did this, hey, here's the results I got, hey, here's a client that I got, all of that kind of good thing, because I want to hear what you're up to. I want to hear that you're taking action and you're actually doing this challenge and putting into practice what I'm teaching you. Because although I love you to show up live and I love you to be here, this is, not the most important. The most important thing is to actually do the work, because that's going to get you the results and that's going to get you the clients that you want. So there's 2 prizes for that. And then we're also going to give a prize away to the person who shares the most about this challenge. So, going on Instagram, sharing a story, how you're enjoying this challenge, what results you're getting using the hashtag MoGraph Client Challenge, please. And please do tag us at Motion Hatch as well, so we can see. And we have been sharing your stories on our Instagram as well. And then the last prize is for whoever helps the most of the people out in this challenge. So, if you want to win that prize, you've got to be present in this Facebook group. You've got to be helping everyone out, answering their questions as well, because it's all about sharing knowledge and giving value to others. This is what I want to promote the most to everybody, because it's really, really important. So this is what I want you to do. So just a little reminder about those prizes. Please do show up live tomorrow so that we can give you your prize should you win. And yes, please do take action, because that's really important. The hashtag is MoGraph Client Challenge. So now we're going to go to some Q&A. So I will put my camera back on. There I am. I'm going to escape out of this presentation so I can actually see the questions. Cool. So thanks everyone. Thanks for sticking around. So now we're going to answer some of your questions, and I hope the mods have got them ready. Yes, here we go. So Paul is asking about the freelance manifesto. I wonder if it's caused fatigue within the industry towards cold emails from new freelancers. My advice would be to not copy the templates directly. We also have templates for emailing direct clients and agencies in our Client Quest course. And my advice is please don't copy these templates directly. Take to your own spin on them, like the template I gave you yesterday. There's, we have sections, like use the sections and write it in your own words. Use Grammarly, use Hemingway app and all of those things to help you to write your own emails in your own words. And I think it's all about personalizing them, yes, but doing enough research so it's genuine. And also I think the piece that is missing is that warming up part where you're going and you're commenting on people's posts, you're doing your research, you're finding out about them, and not just spamming like loads and loads of people as well. So Tybalt says, is it recommended to contact direct clients rather than motion design studios? I think that it depends who you want to work with. So do you want to work with motion design studios? Do you want to work with direct clients? If you want to work with direct clients, then you should contact them and you should start warming those leads up. So if you want to do that, then, you can do that too. I think with direct clients, I think sometimes it really helps to niche down, because I feel like if you say, okay, I just work with all direct clients, like I can work with anyone, that's like a ton of people. So I feel like what would be better is if you decide to niche down. So you can niche down in 3 different ways. So you can niche down on, skill. So what kind of skills you want to use. So like 3D, 2D, all of that kind of stuff. And also you can niche down into an industry. So, kind of my friend Roxy helps vegan and sustainable brands. So, that's an industry, and all of those kind of things. So I think there's definitely loads of different ways that you can do that. But I would definitely say that if you want to have direct clients, I would really think about niching down. And the third one is obviously style. So you can niche down into a certain style that you do, and then your direct clients come to you again and again from that style. So most of us are already aware of that one, but just thought I'd mention that in as well. Okay, so if you live very far away from a major city, is it best to state that you need remote work in the introduction email, Becky? I would say I wouldn't really bother doing that at the moment, especially because of the pandemic and stuff like that. I don't think you have to. Obviously, if they ask you, they'll probably say, can you come into the studio, things like that, then obviously answer that question then. But I don't think that you necessarily have to mention it up front. David's asking about what a good LinkedIn profile for a motion designer looks like. I can tell you some tips off the top of my head. This is something that we go into more deeply in the course, Client Quest. So if you're interested, do check that out. But from the top of my head, basically, obviously have a nice professional picture of yourself. Make sure you update your banner. Make sure you say what you do in your title, because that title bit is actually searchable. And then also in your description, make sure you have your website. Make sure you have your contact details, which is something that everyone misses. So, your email and all of that kind of stuff, like maybe a link to a Calendly invite where people can book a time for you, like to kind of do a video call with you. And then also testimonials, those recommendations, that's really, really important. Also, another thing that we could teach in our course is, how to go out and how to get those testimonials, how to get those recommendations so that you can have them on your website and on your LinkedIn as well. Philip's asking about, does geography matter post-COVID? Thinking you could just work with someone in Europe as it's someone in London. I don't think it matters as much. I'm really excited about this. I mean, Motion Hatch is a fully remote company. I'm well up for all the remote stuff that's going on right now. So, I think that people are getting used to it, and I think that it doesn't matter as much as it used to. Erica says, question about the referral template. Do we wait to send the template after we receive a positive response? I got some references from sending the email yesterday, but it feels awkward to send them another email asking them to email folks they gave me as a reference. What's the protocol? So if they got back to you and they said, hey, Erica, we love your work. Of course, this person and this person would be great for you to get in touch with. It's how they left it. Did they say, oh, well, here's their email? Or did they say, yes, we've got some people that might, it's kind of, you have to use a common sense a bit, but you could go back to them if it makes sense with what they said in their email and say, hey, would you mind doing an intro to them on email? Here is a little blurb, to make it easier for you. You can just copy and paste it, basically what we put in there. But it really does depend on what they email back to you. So it's kind of like if they asked you what to do next, or if they said, yes, we've got some contacts, what should we do? Or if they just gave you their emails, then obviously you just email them directly. Tybalt is saying, do I have any examples of how to add value warming up clients? Well, I think we'll talk more about this tomorrow, but I would say just anything really that makes sense to their whatever they've posted, but is like longer than a few words, adding some sort of compliment to them, like asking them about their work, anything like that. That's all about adding value. I mean, we can talk a bit more, I think, tomorrow about inbound marketing with adding value, and that can be lots of different things. So you could be like educating your clients through your social media posts and all that kind of stuff as well. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. Giuseppe's asking, what do I do if I have had a misunderstanding with a client and want to recreate the relationship? What should I do? Yeah, that's a tough one, because I think if I was working on a project and I had a misunderstanding, I would probably call them, because I would want to clear that up as soon as possible. If it's like kind of later and after the fact, like if you're still working on the project, I think always, you know, ringing people, getting on a Zoom, getting on the phone rather than just email is the best way to sort stuff out. But then I also think if it's, after a while, it might be a bit more difficult. You could always try and reach out to them, because maybe sometimes things appear bigger in our minds than they actually are. I mean, it depends on the situation, but potentially it just kind of depends how you left it and stuff like that. But you could try, you could try and reach out to them. So Sonia says, I want to work with animation studios. How would you recommend I get in touch with them? I find they have very high standards. Yeah, so obviously I would just say to everybody, if you're scared to reach out to people, don't be, because you're never going to get put into a never hire pile or anything like that. Even if they think your work isn't good enough, I would still reach out to them, because you never know. And the worst that can happen is they say, no, not right now. And then you just email them back later when you kind of up your skills and you improve your work a bit more. So I would do that. I would also make sure you're networking with the right people. So other freelancers that work with these studios, maybe people who work there. I know people who've got jobs through knowing some of the junior animators at some of the bigger studios and stuff like that. So Rad says, if a potential new client sends us an order that's difficult for us, is it better to accept it and try my best? Or is it better to reject it to not lose a relationship by telling me more about what I would like to break into? Okay, so you mean if your skills don't match the job? Well, they should be hiring you for the right job, because they should be looking at your website and stuff like that. If it's something, I would usually say, if you haven't accepted the job and you don't think you could do it, I would say, hey, this isn't really something that's in my wheelhouse, but I can refer you to so and so, whatever other person, they would be great for this job. And if you have any jobs that are 2D or whatever your skills set is, then please do let me know. So you could do that. If you're already in the place, like sometimes I've worked at agencies where I've actually sat in the chair and I'm like, oh, this is quite difficult, I'm not sure whether I can do this. Then I would usually say that, like, to the producer or whatever, oh, this isn't something I've done before, but I could definitely like try and work it out for you. And then like just do some Googling and stuff. I've seen like so many freelancers on the slide, like Googling stuff when they've been working. And, we're learning all the time. And sometimes you've learned something and then you've forgotten it. And I think it's okay to look stuff up. It just depends like how much you know and how much you don't know, and if it's actually going to hinder you doing the job or not. But you can always be honest and explain things to people and just try and be helpful to them. That's the main thing. So Dimitri's asking about how would I go about pitching ideas to a niche market. I'm interested in that kind of direction. Like, Roxy, do you have recommendations in that? Yes, this is again like quite a big subject, but I would say, yeah, so it's definitely something that we go deeper into in our course, because we talk about emailing direct clients and agencies and like how to do that. But what I would say is the easiest place to start is to figure out where they hang out. So where are these direct clients? Like, who are they? You know, having a really clear vision of who you want to work with and where they hang out and what problem are you trying to solve for them. And I think by doing that, then you can more easily figure out ways to engage with that type of client if you know who they are, where they hang out, and what problem you want to solve for them. So I would definitely start there with that kind of research part, and then I think it will, you know, should become a bit more clear as you go along and try and like, you know, to do the research to figure out like, okay, well, how can I contact them and what platforms are they using and stuff like that. I'll explain a little bit more about this in tomorrow's lesson because we'll go more deeply into warming clients up and stuff. So Kelfire adds, is there any data on using motion design versus motion graphics artist? So I don't know whether there's data. I mean, in terms of LinkedIn and stuff like that, you could just try it out, especially if you're looking for in the job section. But I would say from SEO perspective, you know, if you're writing blogs and if you're writing on your website, I have seen that people are searching more sometimes for motion graphics designer rather than motion designer. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they are clients looking for motion designers. So that's quite hard to work out. So I wouldn't really think too deeply about it, but I just wanted to give you, you know, what I've kind of learned recently through looking into this kind of SEO and keyword research and stuff like that. So Francesco says, I'm just starting out, would love to freelance intern with a motion design studio, but how do I get over the classic minimum 3-year experience for animation studios? Well, if they're looking for an intern, they shouldn't be asking for 3 years experience anyway, so I would just ignore that. Um, and I would just go for it. I mean, that's probably my advice for all of it, really, is, you know, if you don't have the experience and those are the jobs that are going, just apply for them anyway. You know, like I was saying, that the worst thing can happen is that they don't reply to you, you know, and the best thing that can happen is that you get the job. So, you know, keep it improving your, you know, soft skills and your hard skills. So, you know, business kind of skills and your career skills, and also, you know, your skills in animation, After Effects, like whatever, graphic design, you know, all of those kind of things. If you keep doing those things at the same time and then keep applying to jobs as well, I think eventually you will get there. You know, you can't be expected to have experience if you don't have it. Obviously, doing personal projects is really important as well, so they can see your work. I think more than experience, I think your work is what that matters. So your work and, you know, your soft skills, like I said, like how you write emails, how you handle yourself, are you a nice person to work with, you know, all those kind of things. So Zek says, when pursuing direct clients, is it better to represent yourself as a creative director rather than a simple motion designer? Not necessarily. I don't think that direct clients are necessarily looking for a creative director or a motion designer. They might even not know what they're looking for. They might have heard of an explainer video. You know, so I know some people, I think I saw Mark Lawrence, who's just in the chat, who's been on the podcast. And, you know, on his LinkedIn, he says that he makes, you know, scroll stopping social media posts and stuff. I can't remember what it is. Mark, if you're here and you're listening, post it in the chat. But basically, it's a sentence that will directly speak to his client. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about whether you're positioning yourself as a motion designer or a creative director. I don't think that matters. I know people in both who are getting direct clients. So I really, really don't think, you know, I don't think that kind of matters. What I think is more important is you know, how you're speaking to them and you're using a language that they understand. So I think your title necessarily really isn't that important. So hopefully that helps. I'm trying to zoom through these questions quite quickly. So if you want to like ask me follow-up questions or anything like that, just post them later on our Q&A post. Steph says, how often do you recontact a potential client after they've stopped replying, initially interested, and then go radio silence? Yes. Yeah, again, something we speak about in Client Quest is we give you a little diagram that shows you when to do this. But I think from memory, I think it's like 1 to 2 months usually kind of works. Like you need to use your common sense a little bit. But usually 1 to 2 months is okay, just checking in with them. So, if they say like, hey, yeah, we'll let you know if we have any projects, I would usually say like, okay, like say 2 months later, I've made a new piece of work that I think is really good. I would reach out to them again and I would say, hey, just wanted to get back in touch. I've actually done this new project. Let me know what you think of it. Do you have any tips, any things like that? People like to help people out as well. So that could be good. Cool. Thanks, Santiago. Just catching your comment there. So Nathan says, do you recommend clarifying important things in early contact phase, like work for hire status, whether it's remote, on site, etc., to help weed out scenarios you aren't interested in, or should you wait till you develop the lead a little farther before worrying about that? Yeah, so I would say I wouldn't really think about it. Like it's going to be pretty obvious like sometimes if people are willing to do remote work or not and that kind of thing, so you can kind of weed out most of it yourself. Otherwise I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, one thing that I did a lot when I was freelancing was if people would email me and say like, hey, are you interested in this job, sometimes I would say, oh, I've actually got another client who I'm potentially working with that week. Is it okay if I get in touch with them and ask them if they still need me and get back to me? In the meantime, do you have more details about the project? And then you can kind of, work it out a little bit more with them. And that kind of works really well if they're reaching out to you. So hopefully that helps. But in general, I probably wouldn't worry about it too much. So Philip says, what would be a good hit rate when contacting people via LinkedIn? Do you mean a conversion rate, or I'm not really, do you mean like how many people to reach out to? I mean, like I said, I think it depends on how much research you can do and how much time you have into warming up the clients and doing the research and that type of stuff. So at the moment, I think in our mastermind, we have people who are doing about, is it like 10 a month, something like that? So not very much, but these are like people who are like got jobs all the time, who are booked, so doing 10 a month is like enough for them to keep their pipeline full, so this is kind of what we're teaching in Client Quest, is about, keeping that pipeline full and keeping those clients coming to you rather than you always having to kind of go out to them, so I think it can be little and often rather than a lot if you're talking about like number of clients. So New says, what do you do if you get a reply for a project but it's not within your rate? So if you do that, then you can say it. So, to quickly to do with pricing, basically what I think the best thing to do is with day rates anyway. Obviously pricing is such a huge subject, but what I would do is I would set a rate that you want, and then I would set a rate that's a little bit higher. We should always go a little bit higher than we think, because everyone is going to try and negotiate you down. And then what I would do is I would think of a rate that's like a bit lower than that. And then this is a rate that you won't go below. So when people contact you and it's a bit lower than your rate, well, okay, is it lower than my low rate? And is that something I'm interested in? Maybe it's an interesting project, maybe it's for a charity or something like that. I mean, yes, some charities have a lot of money, so that it doesn't necessarily always apply, but is there another part of it? Are you going to get creative freedom? But I would always have like a base rate so that that you're not going below that rate. And, you can always negotiate, basically. You could say, hey, that's not quite, up to my rate. Normally, would you consider this rate? And like kind of give them a bit of a discount if you want to. Or you can say like, hey, this time I can do it for this, but next time it will be my usual rate. And then on your invoice, you can kind of put, here's the rate that you're offering them, but then also, you know, put the discount that you're giving them as well. So yeah, so much that we could go into there, but I think we're going to wrap it up for today because we've had loads of good questions. So thank you very much, everybody. Let's do a little quick reminder of what today's challenge is. So here we go. Screen, hopefully you can see my screen now. There we go. So yes, and it is not on the right thing that I just picked again. So the daily challenge, search for 3 to 5 people on LinkedIn who could use your motion design services. So remember, you can watch a replay of this. You can always go back to that section and you can see all the different options that I gave you. Create a spreadsheet and add their names and company, etc. so you can keep track of them. You can use our template as well. We're going to put that into the Facebook group. And if you're watching the replay, it'll also be in the email that we send you. So do keep an eye on your emails. Go to Instagram or LinkedIn and see if their company has recently posted. So remember, on LinkedIn, it's okay usually to post directly to that person. Like if it's a producer or something, if they're sharing content about their company and about the work that they do, but don't go and post on their personal Instagram. Just a little tip there. Obviously, like I was saying, if you are using the Sales Navigator, you can use that great tool, which is about have they posted in the last 30 days, which just saves you so much time. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go and check out our course, Client Quest, at motionhatch.com/Client Quest. And remember to definitely come to the lesson tomorrow, because I do actually have a special bonus for you all if anyone wants to jump into Client Quest. But if you sign up today as well, obviously we'll honor that bonus too. So I want you to comment on their posts, make sure you're adding some value to them, which basically means don't just post an emoji, smiley face, you know, actually engage with them in conversation and continue to engage with their posts, and then obviously reach out to them after you feel like you've done enough engagement. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. Remember that you need to do your challenge today, and remember also, please do share your results with us. Share your results online, because then you could be in with a chance of winning some awesome prizes from Cavalry, which is a great app quite similar to After Effects. And also you can win a subscription to Maxon One, which includes Cinema 4D, Redshift, and Red Giant plugins. So that is pretty awesome, and we are very excited about these prizes. So thank you so much to everybody who offered prizes to us as well. And yes, I can't wait to see all your results that you get and how you do with this challenge. So make sure you take action. Remember, that's the most important thing. And I will see you all tomorrow at the same time in the same place. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bye.